Good evening and welcome back to OCC. We are here with an actually really exciting matchup in my eyes. We have the Phoenix Rising going up against the Game of Throws. I'm actually really excited for this matchup. I've already witnessed Game of Throws play. I'm very excited to see what Phoenix Rising has going on today. But of course, I am not joined alone. My name is Davion. I will be joined with Eros today. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty excited to see these matchups. I do know Phoenix Rising a little bit personally. Good friends with the captain of that team and even their coach. So should be really interesting to see what happens here on our first map on Lijiang.
Yes, Lijiang is the first map of today. But other than that, I think the teams are itching, ready to go. They've been itching for a minute now. I'm going to go over quick starting lineups with you guys. Coming from Phoenix Rising, we have at tank Starlord and Kobayashi. For the DPS, we have Zell and Sniv. And then on support, we have Charvi and Chi-Chi. I will probably butcher Charvi's name about 3 times today. Calling it, okay? Anyone in particular you see standing out for you, Arrows?
Honestly, looking out for the DPS side of there, I just know Zell has the moments where he has moments where he can just pop off and he can just have those moments where you think that they're losing, and also out of nowhere it's like, wait, Phoenix is winning. What is just happening? So several times playing with him, he's their guy to look out for.
All right, nice. And on Game of Throws side, we have Sinks and Stressed rolling out the tanks. Sway and TGE coming in on the DPS, and then we have Crazy Lady and Wheezy on the support. From personal experience, Wheezy is nuts. I watched their game week 1, and Wheezy's pretty nuts. So I'm very excited to see this game. You speak very highly of Phoenix. I've witnessed Game of Throws. They almost reverse swept the first match I got to watch, which was back in week 1. So I'm very excited to see this matchup and have a great time with this one.
Absolutely.
All right, just getting some last finishing touches on there. Gonna ask the teams if they are ready and raring to go. Very excited to see how this turns out. I'm excited. It's gonna be a fun game.
Yeah, I know Phoenix Rising does have a debuter on their team. Hasn't actually played in games like this. So Starlord, they're one of their tanks is going to be one of their debuts on their side. So it should be cool to see how their synergy has been working up to this point. How much practice they've done together.
Yes, definitely gonna see. So just waiting on a couple more confirmation things, and we should be good to go. All right, we're heading into map 1, which is Lijiang Tower. Just a friendly reminder for everyone at home, the bans here are Wrecking Ball, McCree, Widowmaker, and Mercy, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct.
There we go. That's I was getting somewhere with life. So what kind of comps are you expecting to see today, Eros?
What I'm definitely expecting to see the Rein Zarya. It's a very standard comp that you do see very frequently, especially at the gold ladder. It's as long as you have good healers. Like for example, we'll probably be seeing a little bit of Lucio Moira or Lucio Ana, depending on the side you're on. But we should definitely be seeing some Brawl comps, possibly some Mei. She got nerfed to Oblivion, but evidently Oblivion is too far away for them to actually get there. So
Mei is still annoying if you're a Reinhardt player. We'll say that much. But Echo is alive, well, and ready to go. I do see an Echo locked in from Sway. I did see a lot of this in Overwatch League, where you see Ashe Echo. So I'm very excited to see how some of these teams apply that today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that Ashe is going to be great for being able to take out the other team's hit scan, just because of the fact that if Echo is very vulnerable, she has a very big head hitbox, so it should be cool to see what's going to happen.
Well, we will see the Mei come out from the side of Phoenix Rising, so we'll see how this plays out. They come in on opposite sides, both playing Rein. A little bit mixed comps here. And we're getting it started. Stress easily eats that Fire Strike to start things off. Big wall comes off. Doesn't separate too much. They are able to get out very freely. And Sinks immediately gets Charvi with a Fire Strike. Crazily, it goes down on the other side. So they exchange healers. Chi-Chi goes down. No supports on the side for Phoenix Rising. Sway comes in, gets a double kill. And that was the end of that fight there. Maybe not. Sniv is getting some freezes here. Kobayashi and Sniv end up turning it around. The Zarya is all charged up, ready to go. Gets Sway. The Mei and the Zarya just coming in, find the Ashe, finish off Baby Diva, and when I thought that fight was lost, they come in and turn it right back around.
Honestly, I'm just sitting here with jaw dropped watching that fight because like Sway came in and was just getting so much value out of Echo, using her beam to finish up 2 people there. But then Snib was just like, nope, this is my point. I am going to freeze you and you're not going to do anything.
Pretty much that's how it went. As you can see, extreme value, 90% to ult already. So they're going to actually push off the point here, and Star-Lord's going to engage very aggressively here, as they already have the grab online. With freeze, there's the freeze. It's not eaten. That's a 4-3, 3-man. There are 3 people stuck in. Ana gets booped off. Sinks goes down very quickly. Sway goes down. ZZ is out. TGE is out. Diva runs away, and that's another win for Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, definitely. They only used 2. Granted, they used 2 ultimates there. They used their Brig ultimate and they used their Mei ultimate, but they still have 4 ultimates online. Well, 3 with 1 coming online, and there are 5 or 4, almost 6 ultimates for the side of Game of Thrones. So they're gonna have to use some ultimates here to be able to do this. But hopefully, they're able to not be countered by Phoenix Rising. I mean, oh.
I agree. I think the biggest thing here is ult economy. If Game of Thrones wants to turn this around real quick, the ult economy is going to be huge. They have an ult advantage because of the ults used last fight. So they're going to have to use some comms and get those in. So they're going to start and engage with Bob. Big wall stops Bob in his tracks. No backing up behind the pillar from them. They just get the freeze on Bob. Bob's doing some work here. Doesn't get much out of it, but there goes the grab. Starlord goes down to Bob. There's grabs, Dragons, finds Weezy and Crazy Lady. No supports on the side for Game of Thrones, as they also get the D-Mech. Dress jumps off, Sinks goes down, and even though they used Bob, they just needed a grab Dragon to finish that whole fight off. And we're in last fight territory now.
Yeah, and I mean, they used 2 ultimates there on that fight, but they still, granted, they're using good ultimate economy on the side of Phoenix Rising. They do have 2 ultimates still alive and available, so they could use these to hold the stall. We should be seeing a Shatter pop out to try to get this.
Yeah, there's the quick charge in, bombs in, Shatter doesn't find anyone for Game of Thrones. Star-Lord's leaving in front, Shatter finds a fat one, 4 people on the ground. They are combining it with a more ult. Down goes Crazy Lady, Sway, Wheezy, stressed, all down on the side of Game of Thrones, and that is a quick win from Phoenix Rising on this first point.
Goodness gracious. Just very even fights on both sides. It's a very exciting game to watch. I mean, at this point, like usually after first game or first round, you're usually able to see who's going to win. But I mean, with how the fights were going, it's leaning in Phoenix Rising's court, but it's still been pretty even fights overall.
Yeah, I have to say, I don't know how much value the Echo was getting. Like, don't get me wrong, that first fight, Echo was doing a lot of work, but after that first fight and trying to re-engage with it, it wasn't doing too much there. And they do go with the Reaper pick here. Stay off Diva, go to Zarya, and actually lock legs this time. Sports are going to stay the same, though. We're seeing a little different over there from Phoenix Rising, though. No Hanzo, no Mei. We're seeing Echo, Sombra. So let's see how that works out. And actually, Chi-Chi actually switched over to the BAP as well. So let's see how that works out for him. As they decide to go straight to point instead of into the white room. Or server room, as people call it.
Phoenix Rising has so much heals for their team right now. So this is definitely going to come down to like a sustained battle period. There's
Agreed.
So much heals.
Sinks is immediately hacked. There's no shield in front of him. They actually could get maybe a kill here, but Sinks is able to back all the way up. TG finds Chi-Chi, but Weezy also goes down. That soldier is actually going to be able to stay on that high ground uncontested for a pretty decent amount of time. Niv is sitting in the back line. TG is finding so much value, gets 3 people. Starlord gets Sinks though. Just the Mei and Ana on point for Game of Thrones against Zarya and Reinhardt. But TG from above is literally just sitting there assassinating everyone. He picked up 4 kills in that fight alone.
Goodness. We are looking for a pause right now.
Oh, pause?
Yes.
I did not see the pause. I apologize.
No, you're fine. There was a lot of pauses in chat.
You know, when people get engrossed in commentating, it's very hard to run the lobby. I apologize, people back at home.
I can understand that because I had to do the same thing before. It's hard to keep up with multiple things at one time. You're keeping up with fights, you're keeping up with ultimates, and then looking at that chat's not really obvious, especially being orange. On this map, it just blends right into everything. I only saw it because of the caps.
I'm going to assume we had a issue with Sniv. He was out of the fight that entire time. Saw them in the back line not doing anything. So we'll see what happens here. But as we're sitting here on the pause, TG is again just gonna sit up top uncontested unless this Echo can contest them. Understandable, maybe a DC or something happened with them on this initial fight, but we'll see how it goes.
It's very smart by TGE getting up there and able to get so much value, and they just unfortunately because of Sniv having these issues, evidently latency issues as he was saying, he was able to sit up there and just do a lot of damage, and Echo could not contest him at all.
Yeah, and it looks like we're getting some R's from both teams, so we're gonna resume play right now, going back into it. And here we are, unpaused. Good tap from the team. TG again just sitting on this high ground uncontested. It looks like maybe potentially Sombra is gonna come up, but TG is spot checking for that Sombra, doing a very good job of it actually. Yeah, maybe not such a good job. Not shooting around, just looking to see if someone's there. Did not shoot at the Sombra that's sitting right next to him. And there's the engage from Zell, is able to hack TGE and is able to find the kill on TGE. Yes, on the engage. So here we are going in on there. Now Zell has the high ground, finds two. There's a freeze coming out from May. They decide to use Shatter there and Moira ult to try to get this point off. And with two ults used, I don't know if I feel that they necessarily needed it, but here they are with the fights. Easy fight win there.
Yeah, I mean, Coalescence is one of those ultimates that builds back so quickly, so I wouldn't say it's necessarily too much of a waste because it does force the team to back up. So as they start, there's a lot of healing, but also a lot of damage.
That is very true, very true. And we're gonna see a re-engage. That wall was pretty well placed, but they just did not have a Lucio to speed in there and actually deal with Star-Lord there, able to get out very easily. There's a grab from Kobayashi, able to find both tanks. They actually used Echo ult to go into the Reinhardt duplicate, and there's Echo's just sitting there by themselves, trying to stay alive, and they're able to re-go back into Echo after losing that. Ana's gonna go down to the Reinhardt, and that's another win fight for Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, I mean, that was a fight win for them, but they used 3 ultimates there for that fight, and I honestly don't feel like it was too necessary. There are 4 ultimates online, with the 5th one with Grab coming up pretty soon to the side of Game of Thrones, and so, I mean, ult-wise, this is in the advantage of Game of Thrones. They should be able to get a good push here as long as they use things efficiently.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. They're looking for some hacks, looking for a Shatter potentially. I could see a hack Shatter going off here, but they weren't able to connect that too well to the wall, able to block it off. They use the square there, and they're looking to get something. They're able to walk straight through the square. There's a Shatter, they're able to find Baptiste on the ground. Shatter comes back and is able to find 2 people on the ground. Ana goes down. They lost Sniv as well, so not looking too good for Phoenix as they have a Nano Sinks. They used 3 ults there, but it was well worth it. But they didn't cap the point. They're not capping the point. There's Sway going back to cap the point. And a little bit of percentage loss there, but they're able to recuperate and get this fight win. And honestly, keeping good ult economy in the process.
Yeah, very good ult economy. They using only 3 ultimates there, and it was only the necessary ones that they needed. They used Brig to engage, they used the Nano to keep their Ryan alive. Just overall, like, big value. And Ryan already has another ultimate coming up here before Star-Lord even has a chance to do it.
Yeah, because the grab was able to get him 3 or 4 people in a row just to swing at. The Star-Lord actually runs in, is antied now, but Sinks goes down. Kobayashi, they're able to, the grab is just insane, or the Zarya is insane rather, in fact. TG is trying to get a good Viper in, and there's a freeze as well. They're trying to find something. TG is actually standing right in front of Star-Lord, able to do it. Sniv actually copies May, and I don't know if they're going to be able to touch here. Sniv still has a couple more seconds on that. Maybe able to put another wall up. We'll see how it goes. I don't think that will be. And they're able to freeze him in his tracks, and actually, victory. Phoenix Rising takes map 1 in a very good round, may I add.
Yeah, very even, very back and forth. Both these teams are coming in, fighting, kicking, using a pretty good ult economy on both sides, but unfortunately the advantage was to overtake Phoenix Rising, having those good combos right there at the very end, able to get the freezes just to be able to finish everything up. So.
Yeah, and I have to say, it was a very fun first map to watch. We're very excited to see how map 2 actually goes, as we should be heading over to Blizzard World for map number 2. So with the comps that the teams have been playing, we've seen a little echo here and there. How do you feel about both these teams going into the hybrid map?
We're probably going to be seeing some Ash because she just gets a lot of value with all the different sight lines. And just on this first point alone, there's like 3 different high grounds that Ash is able to hang out on with cover. Well, one of them does not actually have cover, to be technical, but 2 of them having cover. So we should probably be seeing some Ash here. Maybe keep staying with the Ryan Zarya, possibly even a Diva coming out just so that they get the dive potential. But I mean, there's a lot of different comps that work on this map. This is one of those maps that Blizzard built that you can see dive, you see bunker, double shield. So at this point, with only seeing one game with them, I mean, realistically, with what they've been working with this Ryan Zarya, but we might see something new.
Yeah, and actually, Game of Thrones is deciding to swap out their main tanks. Sinks is coming out for Dan, so we'll see how that turns out for them. So we're just waiting for confirmations from the teams, and let's get into this. Game of Thrones down 1-0, but I've seen them down 2-0 coming back extremely hard, and they could potentially get a momentum boost here. So we'll see how they play on Blizzard World. Blizzard World is one of those maps that honestly is a big momentum map, especially you get that first point very quickly, cart starts moving, you get under that bridge and second point, and you're just kind of starting to roll.
Yeah, it's definitely a roll heavy map. That first point is really hard to defend on. If you're not able to catch ground after they capture first point and not able to grab any corner advantage, the attackers definitely have an advantage when it comes to cart pushing on this map.
All right, yeah, and I'm again just waiting for confirmations from the team to get rolling on this second map here. I will say some plays that will not go unnoticed for me was Kobayashi's Zarya was extremely well. And I have to say, Zell also did a really good job of contesting TGE on the high ground. TGE was getting a lot of value first, like the first fight, I think second or third fight as well. They had a lot of value on that high ground, but came in on Tracer, came in on Sombra, did a good job of contesting TGE and getting them off the high ground.
Yeah, and even on that engagement with TGE, he was able to get 3 kills there. Just able to show that Sombra can be powerful, can put out the damage that's necessary to fulfill what might be missing.
All right, and it looks like both teams are ready to go. So we are heading over to Blizzard World, and this should be an interesting map here. Blizzard World is honestly, to play, not one of my favorite maps. To look at, a great map, very well designed map.
Absolutely a great map to look at. So much fun to look at it. See all the different like history of just Overwatch or just even Blizzard in general. All forts crammed into one little area. Play this map is not fun at all. Huh. Okay. So we did see a little bit of a preview of what we might see. We might be on the defensive side for game or for Phoenix Rising. We might be seeing a Bastion pop out here.
Ooh, hold on. I'm gonna give me 1 second. I think we need to fix something. Give me 1 second. I think there was something that was forgot to put on here, and that is definitely my fault for sure. Didn't wanna mess anyone up at all for the teams here. It's definitely something we don't want to see here. And we should be better off. There. It should be good now. The competitive settings were not turned on, people. It's my fault. I'll take blame and responsibility for all actions taking place, okay? We're good now. Everything should be good. Yeah, I noticed it like right when I saw it. I was like, let's not have this happen.
Here's the funny thing is, I did remind you as you were making the lobby. I was like, make sure you have those competitive settings on because
And
you don't want
mentally,
to
I was
pull what
like,
happened last time.
yeah, mentally I was like, yeah. And then right when I launched into the map, I was like, you know what? How much money you want to bet competitive settings aren't on? Because we just play two like just capture point.
I've literally been wondering why we've been doing this whole waiting for players thing on both maps now, and that's like just I guess that's a good sign that we're in quick play. So now we know for the future.
Yeah, so we should be good. I apologize to everyone. We should be good to go now, though. Little bit of mental difficulties today. No technical, just the mental. All right, so it looks like the teams are getting ready to be relaunched back into the game. Just getting confirmation from one of the teams just to make sure everyone's okay and they didn't walk away from their computer or everything. So we're just waiting on them. But I am very excited. I do want to see the Echo being played. We saw a little bit from both teams, but I'm ready for the Echo matchups. We haven't seen them be played at the same time. A lot of Ryan Czar though. No shakeups there. Do you see any tank possible switches here? Just Ball is banned. I can see some interesting,
I mean,
Winston play here.
If we, possibly like dive is good on this map. I mean, if they decide to do the Bastion, if that's really what we saw and that's what we're going to continue seeing from Phoenix Rising for this defense, they're running that Bastion Symmetra strat. So one of the things that about Zell that Notorious is that when it comes to him playing Bastion, he's always able to find someone to partner with him. They do some cheeky the Fran plays. Like they get places where like you're like there's a Bastion there and then you go there and they're like where'd the Bastion go?
So maybe a potential Bastion sim strat. I'm interested to see that. Because we're going to see some people lock some heroes. I see some HP pools. Don't see much out of it though. So don't get much information from that, of course.
Ready for
And it is.
You spoke it into existence. Here we go with the Bastion sim strat. Moira Bap is here as well. Again, more Ryan Czar, so not much from the tank line switches, but we are seeing that Ashe Echo you were talking about.
Yeah, the Ashe is definitely going to be able to help with this Bastion, be able to get the cover, and especially with there only being a Rhine shield, there's not as much cover and protection for that Bastion. So Game of Thrones is going to have to bait out this Immortality field early on just to be able to help with this. But as we're seeing right here, Bastion's going to set up right by this portal and be able to teleport onto high ground and get out of the way very easily if he starts getting dove on.
Yeah, some strat I used to play on a team where we had a strat where we would play this high ground that they have the portal set up at, but swap it to the other high ground on point, so they couldn't do anything about it. It was very interesting to watch, and the only way you can combat it is literally by walking into us. And I have to say, they have the comp to deal